Hi there, welcome to the Noah Presgrove case. Today we're focusing in on a particular new theme that has come about in regards to the Snapchat post of Jasmine Millan at 3:41, where people now are claiming it's been photoshopped, manipulated, that the background isn't natural to the person's face, that the face has been cut out from an alternative party photo which was earlier on in the day or days before Noah's death. But what would be the purpose or point behind that? If the photo has been photoshopped and edited, what does the original photo look like? Who was on the front porchway and why exactly at that time? With still the supposed same message, you would think. Well, what I want to do today is put it all into perspective, compare and contrast. First, reading Lisa's comments to make sense of it all and to reiterate it to you and for those that have not seen it yet. And then we'll look at the photos because there's a high chance it will be debunked today. But be sure to stick around so you get that full understanding. If you do want to support this channel, down below in the comment section, there'll be a pinned message by me with additional links. Feel free to check them out. Shout out to those that have supported the channel in recent time, and as well Popski too, good individual. You want to catch up on recent coverage by me, top right screen up there, there'll be the I symbol. Click on that and you'll find the full playlist. With that all being said, let's start this video off. To visually set the scene, this is the photo in question, which most of you will be familiar with. That is Jasmine Millan, timestamp down there, 3:41 a.m. Monday morning after Noah wandered off, but before the news of Noah's death. Captioned, well, Noah's missing. And just as a little recap, see a little iron white bar there. Then the background, you got the glass panel, which is the front doorway. This individual is on the front porchway at the party house. And she's smiling, but she's looking off center, not looking directly at the camera. Could she be drunk, merry, who knows? And once again, I was the one that mentioned it. There you can see some wet patches scattered about, wet patches. And I believe it was Caden Pressey that made that reference as well later onwards when we heard of the other interviews, or the police one, let's just put it that way. It just goes to show that Warlight Raff was ahead of the curve at the time. As well, the hair, the strands being wet, this particular photo being relevant as in the time, because it must have been after, the shower, because during the shower when Jasmine was there with Carter, helping Noah whilst having a wash, or at least helping him stand up, some water may have splashed onto her if one was a bit too close. So it just kind of reinforces the previous stories that supposedly did happen within the case. So this is the one. And when we move here, this is what Lisa has had to say. So I'll just read it out brief. Has anybody else noticed that photo Jasmine saying Noah is missing is the exact same photo of Jasmine with Jack Newton resting his head on her back and Noah was standing to her left? It is the exact same photo, just edited. All she did was Photoshop out all the people that were standing around her. I always thought that the photo of her saying Noah was missing was really strange. I thought, why would she be smiling and look so happy? Yeah, in terms of the concept of missing, you would associate that with a missing person case. And most of the time, people tend to be worried. But there'll be exceptions where the term missing isn't used in a serious way, as if someone's life is in danger, just more so they're absent. If there was to use, well, Noah's absent from the party rather than missing, it may not be interpreted as much skepticism, possibly. But there were some additional responses. What does Lisa say here? Thanks for the idea, Robbie. We'll get, actually, it's probably on the next page that. Lisa says, well, have you looked at them side by side? It's the exact same photo. I just checked for the first time. Yep, if you laid one photo on top of the other, she is identical. Everything else is cropped out. We'll get to that photo shortly of the party one, which is supposedly photoshopped. Lisa, thanks for the idea, Robbie. Yep, I just Googled it, looking at them side by side right now, just like I thought. She is identical in both pictures. The only difference is the background is altered. So I suggest you look at two of them side by side before you tell me I'm crazy. And if you still think they're not the exact same photo, well, you might need glasses. And I'm going to start calling you Amber Heard. She tried to pull the exact same stunt and became a laughing stock in court. She took one selfie, then she just altered the lighting and tried to present it to the court as a completely different swore up, and now that they were two different photos. Guess what all they had to do was pull the metadata. They were able to see when the original was taken and when the photoshopped picture was altered. That data can tell what day, what time, and the exact location you were at when the picture was photoshopped and saved with a new revision date. The whole courtroom was laughing at her, even the judge. And a few more comments here. Lisa says to Dark, yes, I believe that is what I'm saying. I never seen the two pictures side by side, but I was told it's one photograph of the group of them with Jack Laney's head on her back because she's hunched over. Do you know which one I'm referring to? I know, right? You could tell it was photoshopped, the background, because the slats of the house were all messed up behind her while she was all hunched over again. Does she just have really bad posture or what? So this particular comment came before this one, in case you were wondering there was a contradiction. So Lisa did do a side-by-side comparison and firmly believes with great confidence that it's the same photo of her face, angle, position, expression, clothing and everything, and she's been cut out and put onto the front porchway of someone else's photo. And that the slats in the background don't quite add up, don't make sense. Well, to be honest, when I look at that, you got the main focus at the front, and in the background, it's not exactly blurred. So it's not like a portrait style photo. It's not like a high-end quality selfie. It's just a very casual one where the focus will show on the face, but also the background too. Not much depth of field. The slats, well, may look a little bit wonky, but if she's holding the phone at a slight angle, it's not going to look exactly straight, is it? Her head is tilted as well. But the background looks natural in my opinion. It's just a door, and that's mainly it. The supposed Ringer doorbell camera is out of shot because her head's blocking it. You can see the bar there, which you'd get on the front porchway. Looks a little bit rusty, needs painting, but that's pretty much it. Appears to be wearing a greyish style top. I mean, that's pretty much it. It doesn't look photoshopped to me. It doesn't look like an amateur job. It doesn't look like a professional job. It just looks like a standard selfie. But in terms of the message behind it, well, no, it is missing. Some people interpret it in a negative way or in a questionable way. Now, we move on to this particular photo. This is the one which Lisa was referring to, where you've got Jack's head back there and he's resting on Jasmine's shoulder. To the right is Carter Combs, and then next to Carter is, I don't really know, to be honest. On the left, you got Noah Presgrove there, doing that signal again with his hands, with the tongue stuck through the V sign. Basically what that means, or how it normally can be interpreted as other times by other people doing it, is an individual wants to lick the kitty cat, pretty much, okay? As for the hat that Noah is wearing there, appears to still be the same. You can see that Noah's wearing that chain as well. Yeah, it's worth making these little observations. As for Jasmine, though, and her top, how much does it compare to this one here? Let's directly do a side-by-side comparison. In terms of the colours and the contrast, I've not changed anything whatsoever. The lighting does differ, but what you've got to take into mind is on the right, the photo has been taken inside of the house, and then on the left, it's been taken outside of the house with a light source coming through the glass panel of the front doorway. So it's going to be a bit dark and there will be shadows casted. But nevertheless, we're focusing on Jasmine Millan here and putting it in perspective with Lisa's comment that supposedly what you see on the left was cut from on the right. So with the text down below on the left, 3:41 Monday, just so you remember. Then on the right, I put Sunday with a question mark because I don't know the timestamp of this particular photo, but I might be guessing it's Sunday night for some reason. I think that's more so because of the clothing choice. I mean, Despite the lighting, what Jasmine is wearing on the right looks similar to what she was wearing Monday on the left. One's more dry than the other. As for her hair, pretty much the same style, right? But the one on the left is more wet than the one on the right. And you can tell by the strands of hair as well, where it's a bit darker and a little bit shinier, possibly. But the dead giveaway to say this is not the same photo, this is not photoshopped, is the fact that her head is in a completely different position. On the right, she's looking to the right. On the left photo, she's got her head tilted to the left, whilst her eyes are looking off screen to the left. You can't really Photoshop that. I mean, okay, some people could say, well, if you cut the person out, you could flip them around so the head is tilted the other way, flipping them. Or you could decapitate the person's head, cut it out, and just flip that, rotate it slightly. But it would look quite obvious when it's detached from the neck area. And furthermore, it's the facial expressions as well. And even more, it's the hair. So let's start off with the hair. When you look up there and the parting, the forehead, there's no strands of hair dangling down. There isn't. But if you look at the Monday photo, there clearly is that strand, which runs all the way down over her eye. You can't really Photoshop that. You can't really add that in. I mean, it's natural on that one, and it's consistent with some of the other strands behind, and the wetness as well, which may have caused it to form that way and separate from the other strands of hair. But when you look on the right, I mean, there's no harm in asking. Anybody that is an expert with hair, whether that be styling it, cutting it, and all of that, would you say yourself, your expert opinion, that it's different? You know, the two different photos. I would say so. On the left, her face appears a little bit more reddish than on the right. Could be the colour tone as well. But there's just no strand of hair running down the front of the face. So it's two separate photos. And furthermore, facial expression. You see her mouth there smiling, rather wide. But if we compare it to this one, not as wide and slightly different angling of the lips. So what I would conclude is that these are two different photos taken at different times, thus meaning it has not been photoshopped. Furthermore, another key question and counterpoint I would like to add in is, if the Snapchat porchway photo was altered and photoshopped, such as by Jasmine Millan, why would she do it and how does she gain from it? Because I don't think she has gained from doing it, supposedly, or in other words, her taking the natural photo on the porchway at the time, after Noah wandering off. I don't think she has benefited from it. More so, she has been attacked and questioned further. Now, in the mindset of manipulating a photo to benefit yourself as what, some kind of alibi, I don't think that helps her in any way there. All it would do is make her more of a person of interest, because at 3:41, it's only 11 minutes afterwards. Before that, that's the time of when Noah supposedly walked away at 3:30. So Jasmine Millan is on the front porchway, looking about, announcing that Noah is missing. Does she know more than others? Did she see Noah walk away? Did she see Noah return back? Did she see anything at all? Hear anything? All those questions came on in at the time and intensified. Does Jasmine know something we don't? Why was she looking off camera in the distance? Why was she smiling? Did she see something we didn't see? If it was photoshopped and she put herself in that situation, maybe the exception being not thinking at the time, I just don't see how you would benefit from it. More so, you would want to maybe Photoshop yourself in bed asleep from another photo or so then it comes across as an alibi that you were asleep and you had no role in anything, you did not see, hear, no evil, nothing whatsoever. But if you're purposely mapping and putting yourself in a important place, an important time, and more relevant to the case, more relevant to a key timestamp with Noah Presgrove, whether it be his death or when he was last seen, I just don't see why anyone would think that's a good idea to do it themselves. I mean, when it comes to Jack Newton and some of his stories changing, and even last minute ones really late on into the case, adding extra details in from, oh, Noah only had one shoe on, to, oh, it was actually Logan, to last see Noah wander off. These extra details like that, you're kind of jeopardizing it for yourself, digging yourself into a hole. So maybe not everybody's mindsets do work efficiently. But as for Jasmine Millan, you can leave your comments down below. Do you think the Snapchat post was altered with, photoshopped? Do you think that side-by-side comparison of her from maybe the Sunday night when that photo may have been taken to the Monday selfie, is it the same like person, as in the same photo just cut out and then pasted onto the other pic? I don't think so. I think each photo is natural. And in terms of photoshopping it, if you was to put yourself in a different position, which you weren't, you're only making it worse for yourself, and it just doesn't make sense that with all the questioning and all the attacks towards Jasmine with time, why do you put yourself through that in an unnatural way? The only other question I would say is, if by any chance it was photoshopped, I'd like to know who was behind Jasmine's face then. Do you know, like, if a selfie was taken front-facing camera or the rear-facing one, why would anyone take it on the porchway facing the door? And who else would have been stood there taking it instead, announcing Noah's missing? And then why would Jasmine's face be overlaid on top of it to cover the true identity of who was behind taking that picture in the first place? It would seem more likely that someone else must have done it, right? To frame it on Jasmine Millan. Oh, I'll just use you as a human meat shield in front of this photo with the caption, so all the attention and direction goes towards you and not the original source of who took the photo. No, it's a bit of a stretch, that, because I'm sure if that was done and someone double-crossed or backstabbed Jasmine would have said something by now, right? And furthermore, as said, Jasmine Millan herself on her own Facebook page doubled down on that Snapchat post, explaining the context behind it and why she, her taking it, and that it wasn't that deep. They weren't thinking that far ahead. They didn't know what was going to happen next based off the timing. It was just simply announcing Noah is missing, nothing more. And of course, there are still questions such as, well, if he truly is missing and whether you have searched for him or not and it's yielded no results and time is getting on, wouldn't it be a good idea to contact police? That's the only counterpoint I would say. But you let me know in the comment section what you think. Be sure to like, share this video to spread that awareness, because it is important to debunk things along the way. Hopefully this video doesn't cause too much backlash. Hopefully no over-emotional people start whining in the comments. I'm trying to be realistic. I'm trying to compare and contrast, and just know when it comes to side-by-side comparisons, I've got extensive experience there with previous cases that I've done, from Kenny Veach to Dylan Rounds, so it is under control. My name's Warlike Raph. I'll see you later, possibly, for another video. Be on the lookout for it.